You bet! Caitlyn Clark, absolutely ridiculous.
She's a beast. The Hawkeye guard has become the new face of women's basketball.
Right on the money. You never get tired of seeing that.
Caitlyn Clark has been making people pay since her freshman year in Iowa City.
Caitlyn Clark, a player who needs no introduction. If you're a fan of the game of basketball, you're more than familiar with the fiery guard from Iowa. In just over 2 years, she has drawn millions of eyes to a new side of the sport, taking her hometown team at the University of Iowa and making them must-see TV.
Caitlyn's been that rocket fuel that the WNBA has needed since its existence.
Look at Clark. Yes! Clark! Oh my! Steph Curry like range out there!
People were podcasting about Caitlyn, writing books about Caitlyn, writing feature stories about Caitlyn before she had even played in the WNBA.
I think it's just the style of basketball that I play, but also I think people love the fire and the emotion that I have and the smile I always have on my face. To be honest, I don't get nervous for games because I just know this is fun for me.
She hates to lose. She can't stand to lose. She's highly competitive. But I can just imagine what it would be like to be playing a game of Trivia Pursuit with her or charades or any type of game, because she's like one of a few players that can't stand to lose at anything.
She started making her games with Iowa appointment TV. I can't tell you how many times I had friends reach out, hey, are you watching the game? And I would assume something else. They're like, no, Caitlyn, 3 o'clock, ABC. And that's how you knew, okay, we have something here. This is something special. When you become appointment TV, you're on to something.
Special thanks to the sponsor of this project. If you're a renter, I'd like to introduce you to Built. Here's the thing, we earn points on groceries, travel, and practically everything else we buy. But we also should be earning points on rent, one of our biggest monthly expenses. Built changed the game by letting renters earn high-value points on rent. Points you can use towards flights, hotel stays, fitness memberships, and even your next rent payment. Let me put y'all on game. Built is a loyalty program that has been consistently ranked the highest value point currency by the Points Guy and Bankrate. Built points can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, and even the ones you haven't even heard of. There are over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties around the world you can redeem your Built points toward. Points can also be redeemed towards a future rent payment and unique experiences that only Built members can access. So if you're not earning points on rent, my question is, why not? Start earning points right now when you sign up for Built Rewards through the link in my description or the QR code on your screen. And make sure to use my URL so they know I sent you. Leaving the college game as the all-time leading scorer and having led her team to consecutive Final Fours, Clark had built up a reputation as the face of the women's college game over the course of her career. By the end, Iowa's games had become some of the most viewed college basketball games of all time, with the Hawkeyes selling out every arena they played in.
Tonight's game was the first time Northwestern's women's basketball has ever sold out Welsh Ryan Arena.
Caitlyn Clark, if you're watching this, we love you!
By March of 2024, Clark would make her decision to pursue a new challenge, declaring her intentions to leave college for the WNBA.
How do you feel about the next chapter?
I think it's something I'm ready for, and that's why I decided to make this move, but also this is the place all I've known all my life, and that was the main reason of coming to the University of Iowa. Is I wanted to play for my home state. I wanted to do something that really had never been done before.
For one, when you're moving to another level and certainly a step up, there's always the curiosity that what is it going to be like? She was this dominant in college. She captivated the audience so much. But could she still be as effective? Could she still knock down those shots? Can that exist in the pro game with bigger, more physical players? And so those were obvious questions that I think you have with almost every player with any league, is how does the game translate?
Going from playing against people that you're kind of going to be stronger than, faster than. So the question was, how good can she be, right? Is she going to be a superstar in the WNBA? Or is she going to have to adjust her game?
Despite questions surrounding how she would adjust to the pro game, there was one thing absolutely for certain. Clark would be the biggest draw of attention the WNBA had ever seen. And as the Indiana Fever won the 2024 draft lottery, a new era was about to begin in the W.
As soon as the Fever got the draft pick, I yelled and screamed and celebrated and just jumped around my lounge. It was like, it's a franchise-altering type of move.
Ready for the 2024 WNBA draft. First time that we have sold tickets to this event, and guess what? It's sold out in 15 minutes.
Maybe you're like sitting at your table, and obviously I kind of knew what was going to happen, but you're sitting at your table with your family, like you're still like a little anxious, and then the commissioner comes out and calls your name.
With the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select Caitlyn Clark, University of Iowa.
Like it's super, super special and it's super fun for my family to be there and enjoy that with me, and it definitely shows that the hard work pays off. And I think more than anything, like I'm just grateful. Like I think I told my mom this, like I earned it. Like I earned this moment. I worked for it.
To me, not only is it a foundational piece, I viewed this as the Fever just hit a home run. They got a future Hall of Famer, and they got something more than that. They got a player that moves the needle. And better than that, she is the needle. Whatever she does sets the tone for everything. And so to me, it felt like LeBron James, for example, was coming here.
Evaluating Caitlyn Clark has been a really interesting experience for me because I had the opportunity to evaluate and draft Sue Bird, who I considered probably the greatest point guard that's played in the WNBA. So I've constantly compared Caitlyn to Sue, and that's a great comparison. Her high basketball IQ immediately catches your attention. Her passing ability.
You know, when I look at somebody like Caitlyn Clark, I think about this just shift in the impact of basketball. And so we have so many wonderful players on the Fever team already, and she's an additional piece of this puzzle.
Fever fans, it's Caitlyn Clark. I can't wait to get to Indianapolis. I know you guys are excited. I am too. Go Fever! I feel like I definitely feel the love, and honestly, I feel like I felt the love even before I was picked from the entire city of Indianapolis. So I feel like I'm just really grateful to be coming to a place that like wants women's basketball to be so amazing and continue to support it and to elevate it, and are going to do things the right way and in first class manner. And for me, like, you know, I couldn't have really picked a better spot to start my professional career.
It's incredible for us to have the opportunity to have someone like her join our team. We established a great culture last year and laid a great foundation, and add someone like her and in all aspects, it just puts us in a whole different ballgame.
I think the thing about myself is basketball-wise, like everybody knows what I'm pretty good at. Like I love offense. Coach Bluter loves offense. Like that's what I thrived on my entire college career. So I say the passing, the shooting, the playmaking, but I love making people around me better. Like I think that's something that I bring is just a winning mentality and competing really hard every single time I step on the court.
Despite unmatched excitement for her arrival, things would get off to a slow start for Caitlyn and the Indiana Fever. Something that's to be expected during an introduction to the pro game, especially when her first game in the WNBA came only a month after her collegiate season.
The biggest challenge for her became the lack of time off and the lack of continuity. In the college season, you're practicing every day for a month. leading into the year. You're having a couple behind closed doors scrimmages. Here you got right to it.
Clark quickly gets it up court, then got knocked away. Odyssey cradles it.
There definitely was the realization of things you could do in college. These players are just faster in the WNBA. Their basketball IQ is higher. So where you would have space at the college level, those gaps just close quicker. Oh, she's trying to see it all, but she's just a half second too slow. And so these teams are just jumping all over her.
And she was talking to media 3 times a day for 10 to 15 minutes per session. And, at Iowa, I think she was talking to the media maybe once a week plus post-game. That was something she had to adapt to. There were a lot of different things, but more than anything, it was the lack of familiarity with her teammates on the floor. And you saw that come in due time. The point of that first month was just to get through it.
Clark would have to do more than just adjust on the court. While she was no stranger to the spotlight, Caitlyn's level of attention naturally brought along controversy, with the young star forced to deal with criticism from former players and media members. Her fierce competitiveness and unapologetic play style occasionally sparked debates, making her a polarizing figure in the media.
I think to her credit, anytime she was asked about herself or an award or something happening in the league that maybe she contributed to, she would always purposely deflect out onto others. And talking about chartered flights, which obviously she helped put over the top because of safety concerns and overwhelming interest in her, and you can't have her walking through the airport. You know what she did? She said, "I am so happy for those that came before me, for those who paved the way for us to get here." And certainly throughout the year, all season, she faced some scrutiny. Some just made no sense at all. Some you tried to understand in certain circumstances. I think that the challenge in all of this was she never demanded anything. She never asked for all this attention. She never made it about her. She wasn't on social media a ton. She tried to not get involved too much in that noise, but then naturally some of it came to her. And so when outside questions came either about basketball or about how people are weaponizing her name or the gross discourse on social media, she tried to take a stand every single time.
Everything she did and everything people said about her was put under a microscope that not many players have that same type of microscope. There's some, for sure. But I think the level where, where she's leading, First Take people are talking about her, where other places who haven't in the past even given much attention to the women's game, and now all of a sudden it's just, I always want to talk about Caitlyn because we know this will generate traffic, views, clicks.
I give Caitlyn a lot of credit. She really impressed me in the way she was mature beyond her years and always had the right answer and was always willing to prop others up. It very much reminded me here in this city of Peyton Manning, who was very professional, who was very well-spoken, who loved to talk about the game, but also understand the greater impact that she was having on the league, on the city, on young boys and girls who aspire to be her. It was just remarkable, all the things that not only she did on the court, but she also had to put up with off the court and try to answer to.
As the season progressed, it was clear that Caitlyn was getting more and more comfortable on the professional court. And before long, her and the Fever were beginning to gel together on the floor.
Here's Clark, still trying to find her rhythm, a deep pull, got it! Clark, step back three, knocks it down! Anderson, nice pass there to Clark. Clark behind the back, oh, Smith!
Contact play. No matter how physical the early teams were with her, took her back a little bit in the beginning, but the next game she's better.
There was a moment where I just was like, oh, now she just looks like a WNBA player. I just remember being like, oh yeah, she looks very comfortable now.
Bentley, handoff Clark, launches, and hits a three! We are level!
But has picked up a triple-double here today, and gets the end one! Clark fly, and she's going to connect. Oh, Caitlyn Clark.
Wheeler finds Clark from the logo.
You know, when you talk about greats in this game, you know, the Michael Jordans and the Kobe Bryants and the Steph Currys, like they are putting her in that category, the Diana Taurasi's. She has that level of competitiveness in her. I mean, she wants everyone on her team to have that. And she has given that. It has infused several of our players to have more of that competitive spirit.
It's got to be the long threes. You know, if that's the thing that carries over to any type of basketball level. And I think just remembering again for people who aren't used to it, like, these are amazingly difficult shots that she shoots on a regular.
No shot is too far away from the rim for Caitlyn Clark.
Clark, fire away. You bet.
The whole team just looked different, and she just looked so in control of everything that was happening.
As a rookie, you don't always know what you're walking into, how you're going to impact the game, but her ability as the point guard to talk to others, to say, hey, you might be open here, you might be open here, hey, we need to do this, let's run that. I think her ability to lead this team as a rookie, she's really starting to step into that role, and I think that's exciting to see as well.
She makes those around her better. And personally, I think that's one of the best attributes of a star, of a Hall of Famer, is how do you impact others?
One of her best skills for sure is her passing.
Long rebound to the Fever. Oh, back bin likes it.
Coming into the WNBA, and straight away she's into the conversation of who's the best passer in the league. Talk about like people not knowing how good she was. You know, she's now already, that's what people might know her for, is the passing. And that's incredible when you think about how good a scorer she is.
Down here comes Clark, bouncing to back, Bentley lays it in. Nice look from Clark, and Smith lays it home.
22 points, she's closing in on it. Give and go with Boston. Clark, kick out. Here's Mitchell. You bet.
What do you like more, setting your teammates up or scoring the ball yourself?
Honestly, I think setting my teammates up, I think that just like provides so much more energy to the team. It gets everybody going, and when everybody can like touch the ball and, you know, get going in that way, I think it just, you know, everybody just flows a little bit better. The offense flows a little bit better. But that's something I take a lot of pride in. At times I think I can try to like overpass and probably could be a little more aggressive to the basket. But yeah, I think with the weapons that we have on our team, like it's just easy for me to set them up, especially with AB, like playing pick and roll with her, and our chemistry is just slowly developing and getting better and better. And yeah, I think we're just, you know, learning as time goes and each game goes, like we're just getting better and better.
You can hear her communicating. You can see the way that she can find you. I mean, her passes are tremendous, and so as a post player, it makes me want to run because I'm like, okay, I'll get a touch. Let me just get down there just because of how well she passed it. But I mean, she's a great teammate. She just talks, communicates, we have laughs, and so it's always great.
I've only had a few of those kind of point guards who just sees the play before it's happened. So I'm going, I know I'm open, I'm like, oh, nah, I reckon the point guard, I'm like, they didn't see it. Caitlyn saw that, like, she saw that before I was open.
She can find you. She can find you in times where you don't really know it's even coming. So it's exciting and it's fun to play with her, and I think we're building that chemistry every game.
While Clark and the Fever had things rolling on the floor, Caitlyn's impact was just as evident off of it, as the WNBA experienced unprecedented success with her arrival. Headlining a talented 2024 draft class, Clark and her peers had immediately brought national media attention to the W, and brought a wave of new viewers to the product. TV viewership was up over 170%, with games featuring Caitlyn becoming must-see TV for an entire demographic outside of the normal women's basketball viewers. Merchandise sales skyrocketed as Clark took the spot of top-selling jersey in the entire league, and arenas were being filled to capacity, as several teams were forced to relocate to bigger venues when the Fever came to town in an effort to accommodate record-breaking crowds.
The question we all wondered was, would she bring those viewers with her? And she absolutely did. I think there were 24 WNBA events that were seen by over 1 million viewers on a number of networks. 6 different networks had their most viewed WNBA game of all time. Of those 24 events, 21 of them, including the draft, involved Caitlyn Clark. So there's no denying the magic, the stranglehold she has on fans, and the interest level. She's going against NFL Sunday and still manages to get over 1 million viewers. That is unheard of. Typically, you would be excited about an audience of 300, of 400,000. She's almost guaranteeing an audience of over 1 million on national networks.
She's clearly an unbelievable player, came in with an unbelievable following, has brought a lot of new fans to the league. If you look at our historic season around our attendance, our viewership, Caitlyn, Angel Reese, Rakia Jackson, Cameron Brink, this class of rookies, we will be talking about them a generation from now.
Caitlyn Clark had a real crossover effect that was impacting a lot of people who usually wouldn't watch women's basketball. I think every single one of us who loves basketball has friends. Somebody has probably brought up Caitlyn Clark to us at some stage and just said, this woman's an amazing player.
For this league, like to me, it's like sky's the limit. You're seeing how incredible it can be. You can see how hard it is to get a ticket to get into the doors, how many people want to turn it on their television, how people are traveling miles and miles to come and watch and have an opportunity to interact with the players or just watch the players play basketball live in person. So, you know, obviously expansion is going to really help. The new media deal is going to help. And I think you're just going to continue to see it grow. This is really only the beginning in my eyes. It's the hardest league in all of sports with only, you know, less than 144 spots. Obviously that's expanding, but you know, I'm excited. The people that have been in this league deserve it, and then obviously the people that are going to continue to come into this league are going to come into a great situation. It's going to be, you know, awesome for everyone.
By the end of the regular season, Caitlyn Clark had put together one of the most impressive rookie seasons in the history of the WNBA. Not only had she led the WNBA in assists, but had done so in record-breaking fashion, reaching the most assists in a season in the league's history. She became the first rookie to record a triple-double in league history, and even broke the single-season record for three-pointers made. Her accomplishments would earn her the WNBA's Rookie of the Year award and earn her a spot on first-team All-WNBA. The final stretch of the season had seen Clark play at a level that rivaled anyone else in the league, and even earned her a spot in the conversation for the league's MVP award as a rookie. Behind this historic season, Caitlyn had helped her team accomplish their goal, leading Indiana to their first playoff berth since 2016.
Trying to get around Mabry. Clark to the rim. Reverses it home through the contact. No one picks up Clark, who pans the three. Clark connects on a bomb. Working behind Boston. Clark for the lead.
While the Fever would be eliminated in the first round, it was clear that Caitlyn and the rest of the roster had laid the foundation for more success to come.
I think it gave us a taste of where we wanted to be. At the same time, I felt like you have to let this kind of burn inside of you and let it kind of bother you in a way that it's going to drive you through the off season. How's it going to make you work? You got a taste of getting to the playoffs. Obviously, we haven't been there since 2016, but you know, next year we're wanting to be a top 4 seed. You know, we believe we can build this place into a championship contender. That's what I believe. That's what I'm going to do everything in my power to help this organization get there. But you got to let it, you know, hurt you a little bit and really drive you throughout the off season.
Man, that rookie season was something special. You know, like the records are awesome, but it really is just the excitement factor and the way that so many people got excited about it. I think that's the biggest thing I'll remember.
I think I've grown the most in just, you know, understanding my teammates, understanding the system that we run, understanding how people are going to guard me, understanding ways that I can put myself in a position to be successful. It's so much different than college. And in college, I, you know, had teammates that were there with me for 4 years and were really comfortable playing with me. And then you come here and you have to learn your teammates in 2 weeks before you step on the court, and that can be really hard. And I've just learned, you know, how I can put my teammates in a position to be successful, and they've learned, you know, what's going to make me go too. And I think you can see literally every single game, our chemistry is just building and building. And, you know, I think that's what's most exciting.
Caitlyn Clark's rookie season was historic. not only for herself, but for the sport itself. Her influence extended far beyond the court, drawing millions of new fans to the WNBA, many of which were tuning in to see what Caitlyn may do next.
I'll first remember about Caitlyn's rookie season how she brought the audience with her and how every game she played continued to be appointment TV. It continued to be must-see TV. How in the city of Indianapolis, when I'm on the radio or talking with fans, they're asking about Caitlyn first, before Tyrese Halliburton, before the Indiana Pacers, and sometimes even before the Indianapolis Colts, because she has taken this city by storm. She's taken this league by storm.
Playing at home in front of, these fans, and the way the young girls just, dangle over the side of the rails and are so happy, and people are crying, and you understand the impact that you're having on people's lives, and that's what's so cool about it for myself.
She's really drawn not only to the normal fans, but to all those young girls that are there in the stadium, that have on her jerseys, that are screaming and hollering, and they want her autograph. And I think she genuinely loves that. And I think she has an attraction to the fans, and I think they feel it too, that she really cares about them and that she really wants to give them the best she can of her game.
Yeah, Caitlyn is very mindful and conscious of future generations. She always talks about how she remembers being that 8-year-old girl, or she remembers being the young girl going to a Minnesota Lynx game and getting a photo with some of the players, or Maya Moore was the player that she looked up to. And so she appreciated that accessibility and being able to interact with them. It's one reason why she takes great pride in signing autographs before and after every game. I think she appreciates and recognizes that she is an icon. She is a role model, and she accepts it.
These next draft classes coming in are special. There's some really special players who are coming in who could do for their franchises what Caitlyn did for the Fever, who are just going to energize their teams. I would imagine she's going to be incredibly generous with her recognition of how good they are. And then I think on the court, she's going to try and destroy them. I think her competitive I want to win is going to come out, and I think that's the best, right? That's what you want. You want someone who's going to be, I appreciate the game of basketball, I love the game, I want to grow this game, I want more people to know this, but I want to win. And I think that's what every best player has been, or every good face of the league has been, that the game is a competition, that it is about winning. Like, I think she's going to try win MVPs and championships and all of it.
A lot of fans may not realize that the league is less than 30 years old in existence, and it took a lot to get this league going. Then it kept a lot to keep this league afloat. And here in Indianapolis, for example, there were many times when ownership, which is one of the few franchises that has the same owner for the NBA team, the Pacers, as the WNBA and the Fever, there were plenty of opportunities when they could have decided, this isn't worth it, we're losing money, we need to move on. Well, seeing that through for 25 years, in their 25th year of existence, they got this special talent, historic talent, Caitlyn Clark, that helped completely change this Fever franchise and the WNBA. For the Fever, they go from averaging like 3,000 fans per game to over 17,000 fans per game. Better attendance than the Pacers. You see the league-wide interest increase. And all these leagues need something. There's inflection points. We saw in the NBA where it was Magic and Larry Bird. Well, with here, you have Caitlyn Clark. Within her own rookie class, you had a lot of conversation as well with Angel Reese and other good rookies as well, Cameron Brink. And you're hoping maybe this can be an inflection point as well, where it completely changes the league's trajectory for better.
I feel like there's just so many memories you're going to remember from your rookie year. Like, your rookie year is something you're always going to cherish as you go throughout your career. I think it was a huge learning opportunity for myself. I learned a lot about myself as a basketball player, as a person, being resilient when your back's up against the wall, but also really coming into our own and really thriving. And I think, once we figured it out, it was a lot of fun.
Being the face of an entire sport is never easy. It's not something Clark ever asked for. But the way she has handled being handed the responsibility of carrying the future of the game forward is one of the many things that makes Caitlyn such a special player. At the end of the day, she knows the importance of the role she plays. And while the rest of the world talks about Caitlyn Clark, She's just fine with letting her game do the talking.